8 years ago, the U.S. Air Force was very nearly winnowing its whole armada of A-10 Thunderbolt IIs, also called Warthogs. In 2014, the then USAF Chief of Staff, General Mark Welsh III, said the Air Force needed to resign the A-10 totally if it somehow happened to make significant slices to its spending plans, and that it demanded freeing finance and labor supply to be directed into the stand-up of new F-35 units. In this video, we'll discuss how, in 2022, the A-10 isn't simply here to just stay, but it's getting a heap of moves up to keep it significant long into the future. Thus, let's make a plunge straight into this one. The scenarios in 2014 versus now. In those days, Welsh guaranteed stripping the nearby air support sturdy would save $3.7 billion across the 5-year Future Protection Program and one more $500 million in cost evasion for redesigns that didn't sound vital. But now new weapons, another cockpit format, and an upgrade of strategies are a portion of the components now ready to go to keep the Hog's tusks sharp and its community a significant benefactor on the forefront battle. An overview of the A-10s. Worked to attack Soviet tanks on the fields of Northern Europe, the A-10 was planned around the General Electric GAU-8A Avenger 30mm cannon and its 7 barrels, which can dole out annihilating punishment to armor. Throughout the long term, the Warthog's 11 hardpoints have developed from conveying imbecilic iron bombs and rockets to pulling the most recent directed arms. Regardless of making itself a fearsome standing during Operation Desert Storm in 1991 and developing with the times as new innovations opened up, the admired ground assault plane has experienced harsh criticism from inside the Air Force with regards to reductions. The USAF put forth the defense for the F-35A Lightning II to accept the A-10's jobs, underlining the way that the Warthog was at this point not survivable in current high-danger conditions covered with cutting-edge air defense systems. The A-10 community was informed that the really long conflict in Afghanistan was finished and that nearby air support, CAS experts, were not generally required. Meanwhile, A-10 allies in Congress passionately dismissed the proposition because it would seriously affect the USAF's capacity to cover this mission, and some requested a takeoff to demonstrate unequivocally that the F-35 could sufficiently supplant the A-10 in this mission. Fight against ISIS helps make the case for retaining the A-10. As discussions to resign the A-10 solidified in 2014, Operation Inherent Resolve, the U.S.-led mission to destroy the alleged Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, was sloping up quickly, and tension was placed on the USAF to move forward its involvement in the expansion campaign. Back home, the fiscal year 2015 spending plan included House and Senate Armed Services Committee limitations that basically obstructed endeavors to resign the A-10 Armada. It was a powerful coincidence that really saved the A-10. The Indiana Air National Guard's 163rd Fighter Squadron, the Blacksnakes, was conveyed to the Central Command CENTCOM area of operations in October 2014 as a component of a theater security package shipped off to Kuwait. The unit was rapidly re-entrusted to Afghanistan to cover U.S. armed force withdrawals from forward-working bases, FOBs, in that war-assaulted country. Nonetheless, after just a month in theater, the strain was on to move the Blacksnakes back to Kuwait to join the thriving exertion against ISIS. The A-10s were promptly squeezed into battle missions, a move that was to again highlight the helpfulness of the A-10 to senior pioneers. As time went on, a progression of Warthog units were called upon to join the OIR mission, giving the 2 CAS as well as cover for Combat Search and Rescue, CSAR, for alliance tasks. New upgrades for the A-10. The plan to retire the A-10 had begun a thump on impact with regards to support and upgrades. Functional testing for the ready A-10 Armada at the 422nd Test and Evaluation Squadron, TES, at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, and the A-10 Program Office at Hill Air Force Base, Utah, had both successfully been closed down. Be that as it may, with OIR at the top level, by the mid-year of 2016, this was all being turned around with a recharged stimulus for strategic upgrades for the A-10. The planned finish of the A-10 momentarily slowed down some inventory chains, yet a moving series of redesigns were back in the groove again. In 2017, the Lightweight Airborne Recovery System, LARS V-12, was introduced on Air National Guard and Reserve Command A-10 fleet to permit pilots to communicate better with people on the ground, like pilots and pararescuemen, explains Air Force Major Matthew Kading, the A-10 test director for the 59th TES. This was coordinated in Suite 8, and each one of the A-10s presently have this framework incorporated into the Central Interface Control Unit to give basic Combat Search and Rescue, CSAR, data. The USAF presently handles 281 A-10s. However, there have been various bombed endeavors to diminish the armada. The USAF's proposed fiscal year 2021 financial plan hoped to cut 3 units worth of planes, comprising 44 aircraft. Presently, major A-10 redesigns are pushing without holding anything back forward. Such is the resurgence of the A-10 that another common fleet initiative is intended to keep the sort in help and dependable out towards 2035. Key to the redesigns for the A-10 is that it should be survivable in a challenged climate. This includes Warthog pilots sidestepping dangers through the extra utilization of deadlock weapons from longer ranges, joined with the utilization of refreshed strategies. A-10 tasks will develop to incorporate the capacity to handle a few dangers with accuracy weapons from expanded ranges. When these dangers are obliterated, the A-10s can then hypothetically swing into additional conventional missions. Survivability isn't just about overhauling hardware and programming, it's tied in with guaranteeing we're heading off to war with the most state-of-the-art and deadly strategies, says Major Kading. What makes the 422nd 59th TES and the 53rd Wing overall a special association is that we do these things. Greatest redesign since the A-10C. The overhaul of A-10As to A-10Cs from 2005 onwards was a colossal jump for the Warthog. This basically added accuracy weapons, a halfway glass cockpit, and a laser designator unit. Suite 10 will field in the spring of 2021, and it's a central stage in the modernization of the A-10, says Kading. Suite 10 will incorporate various objective rundown upgrades that will empower the pilot to draw in numerous objectives with 3 distinct weapon types in one pass. It likewise incorporates full AGR-20 APKWS reconciliation, which Kading says gives the capacity to focus at the most extreme kinematic scope of the rocket, with pointing arrangements planned inside rocket resistances. GBU 31-3 JDAM mix brings extended capabilities for using a new fuse type, and further developed JDAM input will empower the pilot to have more noteworthy trust in weapon exactness. Danger data can now be divided among A-10s using the information interface, which permits all flight individuals expanded circumstance mindfulness for survivability. The USAF finished a task to re-wing a part of its A-10C armada on July 25, 2019. The task started in 2007 when Boeing got a $1.1 billion agreement to give 173 arrangements of wings. The new wings are supposed to keep going for up to 10,000 comparable flight hours without requiring a stop investigation, and will allow the changed airplane to stay in assistance through 2030 or past. A further task to give 112 extra wing sets to the leftover A-10Cs was financed in fiscal year 2018. The help is obtaining the wing sets under the A-10 Thunderbolt Advanced Wing Continuation Kit ATTACK program. A long-held desire to remotor the A-10s is excluded from current plans. New parts providers with present-day methods might assist with re-establishing the first motor push of the General Electric TF-34 motors instead of the slight detune that the airplane as of now works with. Together, this host of ability redesigns will keep the A-10 at the front of the USAF CAS mission for basically 10 more years and significantly longer. All signs are that the A-10 won't be disappointing at any point in the near future. So that's all we have in this video. Thank you.